Well, good morning. Here's another view of my campsite where I slept last night. A bit better than the one. It was a bit dark last night. I've just tried to get a sunrise. I sat and watched it, but I don't know how it's going to come out because I've not had a look at it yet. It might be a bit bright. Sometimes there's not enough clouds, so they're very, very bright. There's a view back to where I've come from over the last day and a bit. It goes a lot further than that. It's over 20 miles, this ridge, this mountain range. That's the view looking back to where I've come from. You see that peak in the middle now? I came up and over that this morning. Basically followed that ridge. Dropped down. Skirted that rocky gully there, look. And dropped right down again and picked that ridge up that I thought was going to be coming. Well, I thought I was going to be coming up, and I did. Well, I've just sat down with a quick bite to eat and drink. About an hour or two ago, I bumped into a lad up on the dirt road there, getting out of his car. Another hiker. And then we had a quick, you do 5 minutes. Then I bumped into him again further up the trail, had another couple of minutes. And I just bumped into him again because the trail was really gnarly here and the way forward weren't really obvious. Anyway, we just had a chat for about, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. Name's Skylar. What an interesting, it's probably the best conversation I've had since I've been out here, and I've met some really cool people. He's actually, his job, he lives and works in the Grand Canyon. He's a park ranger. I mean, he's only young, but man, what a job. But so interesting, so cool as well. He gets what it's like being out here on your own. He totally gets it. Yeah, speaking to a like-minded individual, really cool. Really cool. So anyway, Scarlett, if you ever do watch this video, mate, that was cool. That was a great conversation. I hope we can keep in touch and just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You know you're doing the right thing with that. Living and working in these beautiful places, pal. Great stuff. Good for you, buddy. Keep doing it. That's where I'm headed. Those two peaks. You can maybe just make Skylar out. He's in front of the middle peak there, just walking off. That's the ranger. That's where I'm going. And this is the view. So I'm about to start dropping down in a couple of 100 yards. I'm making my way down there through all that lot. Those two peaks there, aren't they gorgeous? The one on the right is Mosca Peak, the one on the left is Guadalupe Peak. They're both around 9,400 feet. Gorgeous. I wish I were climbing one of them. Well, that's me leaving the Manzano Mountain wilderness. Now, just got to find that damn spring. It's not far from here. Well, I found the spring. Damn thing's practically dry. Looks like it has been a bit wet recently, but unless there's something down there, I'm having to make do with this. Look, it's literally just about dribbling out, look. So I filled one bottle over there, look, on the rock. I'm gonna drink that, all of that. And then when that's filled in about 40 minutes, that'll do me. Well, that's where I'm heading, Tierras. Although I've got to go through Chilili first. I've just been and got some food back from where I first dropped down off of the mountains in Tahike. Really cool place. That stop there, it was like I say, it was a service station. They didn't have a great deal of food, but she let me charge my phone up while I was sorting my food out. I've got enough food now I'll probably be bringing some home on the plane to eat. I've got that much food. But as you can see, I've got a 30-mile damn road walk now. It's getting a bit late, so I'm probably gonna have to stealth camp up on this side because most of this is private property. Look, I'm gonna have to stealth camp, excuse the wind. I hate road walking. There's a good shot, the Manzano Ridge, the Manzano Mountains. That pointy bit, that's where I came down today, look. It was all the way to the left. In fact, it goes beyond where you can see. That's over 20 miles, is that? So that's where I slept last night. Didn't have the best sleep, if I'm honest. There's the road. I've got about another 14 or 15 mile to go to get off trail, so I've got a 14, 15 mile road walk. I'm gonna hate today. Well, here I am, back on trail. And I've got all my hand up, all you purists out there. I hitched hike. I got a hitch after about, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes. Another lovely lad called Skylar. That's two Skylars I've met. From Florida originally. He stopped, picked me up and dropped me off about a mile back. Now I know, like I said, you're purist, you're supposed to walk every step, but I am not into road walking. 15-mile road walks are not in my bag of tricks, so I hitched. So I'm just going to put it out there, I hitched. Look at this fella. This beetle, look how big he is. I've passed about 5 or 6 of these this morning in this bit of a foresty thing that I'm in. I've not seen that many. But they're quite a buckram either under this branch. There's this twig. I've got you, bud. Here you go. Yep. Well, there's my final destination. The Sandia Peaks, the Sandia Wilderness. My first water stop of the day, probably my last as well actually. I didn't 100% need this, but I thought, well, it's just off trail. And I met another hiker. I've got another cool story for you, so I shall tell you that one in a bit. So I walked down here with her. She didn't know about this actually, but I thought it's half a mile off trail. We were getting on so well, so I walked down with her, and here it is. But I'll tell you about Sarah in a bit. I'm just going to get some water now and get glugged up. Okay, another cool story. I've got a few of these, haven't I, this year? I've got a sweetie, so excuse me. I was on the trail this morning after I got a hitch. I'd only been on about 10-15 minutes, and I bumped into a lady walking a dog. A lady called Sarah. She stopped and we had a good 10-15 minute chat. We really did. And she asked me, what are you doing, you know, blah blah blah. So I told her what the Grand Enchantment Trail was about. She's into hiking, she's hiked out and slept out in the wild before, she knows the score. Anyway, we chatted for 10-15 minutes, and then I said, are there any RV parks around here? She said, well, no, I don't think so. Why? So I told her why, and she went, oh right, yeah, I see. And then she says, well, if you want, you can camp in my back garden. I'm like, so I said, well, thank you so much. But whereabouts is it? She goes, well, it's a bit away. It's about 7 miles away from where you are. I thought, oh, that's 7 miles there, 7 miles back. I thanked her profusely and said, well, no, I'll just carry on. And then, damn it, 10 minutes ago, I'm walking down where there was a chance of some water, and I bumped into her again. This huge area, and I bumped into her again walking the dog. So this time we had another chat. I told her where that's, so I'm going to try and get some water, blah blah. Anyway, the water was there. I've just watered up. As you've just seen. Anyway, we've exchanged details. We're friends on WhatsApp now, because if I can't get a lift from when I finish, because it's up in the Sandia Mountains, it's at a trailhead. But if I can't get an Uber, I've got Sarah's details, so she could give me a lift, like, and have a drink. What a lovely lady. That's the road down there. I'm sure you can see it, make it out. That I got a lift on this morning, a lift in, should I say. That's heading north. That wasn't down there. I was back south. But I'll be going underneath that in a bit, because I need to get up there. That's the Sandia Mountains. Right, as I said earlier, I'll be crossing underneath that road soon, and here we are. I'll see if it's not too slippy. I'll try and video a bit of it, but this is called the Tunnel Trail for, well, obvious reasons, I guess. Ooh, steady out. Oh, it's dry enough. Let's see how this looks. It's probably going to flare up. So I've made the campground. Well, it is actually a campground. It's mainly for cars, though. You know, for RVs. It's coming up to 2:30, so that's me done for the day. See that peak up there with that mast? That's helping me keep in touch with home. This is where I'm anchoring myself. Look, I've got some nice shade. I can sit down. I can even lay down if I want on the table. And this is where I'm going to be putting my tent. I'll leave it well later. Like, I don't want to put it up now. But yep, this is my spot for tonight, unless somebody comes and says something different. And I've also got a rubbish thing. Look, to get rid of my rubbish. I will say this though, New Mexico, it does like its afternoon thunderstorm. Oh, look at that, right on time. I think that's going to miss me, but the wind's picking up. Pretty marvellous. But if it does, because I look down there's a little bit of a path. I followed it down. It was a whacking great, beautiful camp spot. Perfectly level, surrounded by little trees. Well, I'm about to pitch my tent. It's got really windy up there. As you can see, it's pretty damn calm down here. But I'm only 40 metres up there. You might just be able to see that rubbish bin in the shelter that I was stood under. It's blowing stuff off the table. It was that windy. Like I say, down here, nothing, so I should get a better sleep down here. These are the outlets that I mentioned earlier, look. Really handy in America. I mean, this is a toilet, this outside toilet, look, but look, they're sockets called outlets. Unfortunately, they're all dead in here. Round here, there's two more, look. They're not working either, but because I'm nosy, I've just been to the toilet. This is a pit toilet. Ta-da! That one is working. So I'm just charging my battery charger up, and I'm now going to plug my phone in because there's no water Obviously the electrics are off externally, but it opens at 8 o'clock and it's 7:20, so I'm going to sit around now, charge my stuff up and wait for the rangers to turn up. And even if that water faucet isn't working, I'm sure they'll give me some water from inside the building. Well, this is Travertine Falls, and there's water. Man, if I'd known about this place, I would have stayed here last night. Look at that for a spot. Wow. My first view of Albuquerque. I'll zoom in a bit so you can... I bet this is a great shot at night. I should be down there tomorrow, dinner time-ish. Yeah. And just look at this right at the side of it. Beautiful. I've still got to get up there. My climbing's not done yet. Well, South Sandia Spring. I wasn't expecting any water from out of here. I've just had a quarter of an hour, 20-minute break because it took me that long to fill my bottle up. But yeah, this is only a 1 on the water report, so I was expecting it to be, oh, bone dry. But just look at this quality. Now, usually I just dunk my bottle in there, but man, I'm only a day away, not taking chances, so I've filled it out of the pipe, but it's spring water. Right, guys, forgive me the wind. I've misplaced my mic with the dead cat on it, so it is what it is, I'm afraid. I'm just trying to show you that the mountain range in the distance, look, that is the Manzano Mountain range as far as you can see, and it goes further than that. It does go longer than that, but I'm trying to show you if you can see just to the right, just to the left of that tree, in between the tree and the Manzanos, there's another mountain range right in the distance. I'm absolutely sure that's the Magdalena Mountains. That's where I spent the night in the cabin, if you remember. So that's where I've come from, up and over the far one, and then I've literally followed the crest of all that one there. So yeah, great time. Right, at last. I hope you can see him. Greater short horned lizard. I think that's what he is. I've seen loads of videos of these with people on this similar journey, but this is the first one I've seen. Look, it's either a short horned lizard or a short toed lizard. I forget which one it is. I think it's horned. Isn't he a beauty? Look. Pretty sure they're the San Pedro Mountains we're looking at. Starting to hit a good bit of snow now. A good bit. And I've still got 800 feet to climb. And this is not even on the north side, the steep side. This is just, we can see it's not that steep. Well, I'm not going to lie to anybody here. This is sheer purgatory. I'm hating every damn step, and I'm not lying. I am post holing beyond my knees. I cannot feel the toes on my left foot, and my right's not far behind. And I've still got about 600, 700 foot to go. till I clear this lot. God damn, tomorrow's going to be absolute freaking hell. Albuquerque once again. Excuse the wind, but I'm at the top now. This is where I intended to camp. But when I saw all that snow, I had another idea. But I've just missed it. You probably can't see down there, but there's a cable car on its way down. I was hoping to catch a list off of those, but I'll tell you the story in a bit when I've calmed down, because I'm about ready to throw myself off. And it is a bit of a drop, mind. Here, I'll show you. Woo, windy. Touch in a bit and explain what my plan was and what my plan is now. Right, this is where I was going to camp, like I said before. Sandia Peak, look, 10,300 foot. There's Ryan. This cable car, like I say, these, they're not open while Friday. I tried to get here today because I was going to camp here, because they were supposed to be open tomorrow. And then I looked late last night and they're a day behind, so they're not opening while Friday now. So I'm like, God damn it. Anyway, I've just got up here and I've had such a horrible time the last 2 miles. There's Albuquerque down there. So the only person up here at the minute is Ryan. All the others have gone down, and some people from the restaurant. And I've just begged him to let me go with him, and I've given him $20 in his, yeah. So I've managed to lift down with the workers, so I'm going down tonight. That is my lift down. I can't tell you how relieved I am. God damn, it's blowing a gale now. That trail would have been impossible tomorrow. Well, it wouldn't have been impossible, but damn it, would not have been cool. Okay, there we have it. That is the official end of the Grand Enchantment Trail. Right, I'll just explain what went off and what my plans were. Right, my plan was, I always planned to come down on the tramway, what we call a cable car. And I was always going to finish tomorrow because the cable car, it's been shut for spring maintenance. And it was supposed to open tomorrow. That's why I was sort of taking my time. I was going to camp up there last night and it was going to open tomorrow. I was going to come down on it. That was always my plan. I went online last night to see what time the first car was down, and it's been put back 2 days, so I'm like... So now I've got to walk down a trail called the Loose Trail. Now, I know, because I bumped in, well, I knew to start with that it was going to be a lot of snow. And just coming up those last 2 miles, I wasn't doing half a mile an hour. I was up to I was crying with frustration. I was getting annoyed and mad and screaming in frustration. It was taking me that long because it was steep. And the thought of doing 9 miles through that tomorrow, I couldn't do it. So I got to the tram and there was actually still some people there. So I said to a lad, like I mentioned earlier, called Ryan, I said, right, here's $20, mate. Can I get in with you lads and come down? He said, yeah, no problem. So that's what I've done. I've come down on the tram, not on the tramway. It doesn't open for a couple of days, but I've squeezed in with the workers and the guys who was up at the restaurant. So here I am. So that's what I was planning to do. I was going to tell you all this up there, but I know, things have worked out different. But the trail itself, it's difficult. It's a difficult trail. I'm not going to try and make it sound any different. It's tough, it's a hard trail, it's beautiful. In fact, well, let's just have a quick look. You see? So there's some great shots, weren't there? It is a great trail. It's a pity there's the burnt areas, but yeah, great trail. just want to say a big thank you to Brett Tucker. All the amount of work that guy must have put in on this to get this trail, like, you know, to conceive this trail and do all the stuff that he's done. I'll take my hat off to you, mate. Great stuff. So that's me done. I'm going to get a cab now, hopefully, into Albuquerque, where I'm going to spend a couple of nights and then get back home to my family. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.